This episode of the Sport Corner Siam Hockey League News is brought to you by the Big Chili Magazine, where in this issue there's a profile of Gail Bailey, MBE, titled Gail Bailey, MBE, one of Bangkok's most popular expat ladies, reveals all, including her visit to prisoners on death row at the notorious Bang Kwang Jail. So we just had our final game of the SHL season, Novotel Spitfires versus Peak Biolabs. I feel like this is a game that was built up all season and well worth it.
It was a really excellent way to finish the season. It was a phenomenal final. Both teams played really well, really hard, was back and forth, and honestly had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, definitely it did. I'll agree with that. I'll absolutely agree with that.
Some offense, solid defense, good goaltending.
Before we get too far, though,
teams,
I need, prior to the game, I interviewed the captains, so we're going to talk to them real quick. I'm here with the captain of the Novotel Spitfires, Brad. So you swept Hertz in the semifinals?
Yep, it was so good, too. We played so well. It was so fun to beat Jordan after he called us out and put that cute little poster of me in a cowboy hat on my locker.
And you guys have played really physical in the semifinals. You plan on doing that again tonight?
Of course, these guys are fast, so we got to try to slow them down a bit. So pushing them along the boards and kind of staying in their way, I think will help us slow them down and even out the pace.
Okay. And what do you think of your 3 years with the 4 years with the SHL and the Novotel the Spitfires?
It's been great. It's been awesome to see the SHL improve and get better and better every year. The talent in here is pretty good. The games keep getting faster, and I can't wait to see where it goes in a few years, and hopefully maybe I can come back and play in it again in the future.
Excellent. Well, good luck tonight.
Thank you, Dom. Take care.
Thank you. I'm here with the captain of Peak Biolabs, Harrison.
How you doing, Dom?
Outstanding. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Doing well. Feeling good.
So you did the full series against Aware.
Yeah, we did. That was a tough series. You know, every game was close. I thought both teams were in each one, and I think all three games came down to some last-minute heroics. You know, that was a good series. Kudos to Justin and the guys.
And they didn't have you for the whole series?
No, I was there on the bench, but couldn't really do anything else.
And do you want to tell everybody what happened, or?
No, not really.
Okay. So now you're going against the Novotel Spitfires.
Yeah.
Playing pretty physical in the playoffs so far. How do you think you can handle that?
I think our guys can play physical as well. You know, one of the strengths of Aware was also their ability to grind and push down in front of the net, and I thought we did a good job of neutralizing that. I don't think we'll have any problem with Novotel doing the same.
Okay, and now you've been with the SHL for 4 seasons.
Yep.
This year they bumped you up to a captain. How does that feel? And then making it to the finals.
Oh, it feels great. You know, it sort of like affirms that I did a good job picking a team. But no, it feels good. This is the first time I've made it to the finals, and hoping to put on a good show.
Excellent. Well, good luck.
Thank you. No hands.
I was helping the two youngsters with the pregame interviews as well, and I got a chance to listen in. Both of them, you kind of knew what they were trying to do coming in. Brad wanting to play physical, wanting to try and get shots. Harrison trying to use their speed, trying to see what could they do to try and get around that physical play at Novotel. Again, try and get shots, support Gabor.
Yeah, well, it was funny. Earlier in the day, Harrison messaged me and it was like, hey, you're dissing my guys. And I was like, I'm just trying to light a fire under you. And I think it worked.
Yeah, I think they played really well, and their ability, as we're going to get to in a moment, talking about the game, to bounce back, I think was phenomenal in this game. Give them a ton of kudos.
Everybody, both teams. I mean, there was no. I didn't feel like anybody was really dogging it. Do you know what I mean?
It was the final. They were ready to play.
Everybody was ready to play, and Harrison, coming back from his lower body injury, to play in this game.
You could tell that they wanted to show up.
Yeah.
They wanted to be there, and he wasn't going to have anything prevent him from being out there if he could make it, and he was able to come out. Yeah,
and I think he did really well. But It was a good close game. We're going to talk more about it, but I was a little bit, when I first started watching the game, I was really disappointed in the Spitfires because they didn't bring the physical game right away.
It took them a little bit to get into it, and I think that was a result of the penalties.
Yeah.
So Peak took a couple of early penalties, even a 5-on-3.
Yes.
That put them in a big hole to start the game. And Novotel, all of a sudden, maybe not anticipating this, finds themselves a little bit out of position, like, we got to respond. Yeah. And I think they actually had some really good sustained offensive pressure, was solid, but in Peak and Gabor's credit, they played really well, killing the penalties, and they gave themselves momentum.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Gabor had an amazing night, so they killed off all 3 penalties they had in the first period. I mean, we had Gabor right away with a tripping penalty.
I didn't catch that as much, but yeah, everybody was drawing at each other the whole night. But
yeah.
I think everybody was, like we talked about, playing hard. It's the final.
Yeah.
Right?
And Yeen with a big cross check behind the net.
Yeah, he was trying to defend his goal. So
fair enough. The only bad penalty I felt was Ryan's, which was the delay of game.
That's tough. You got to think about place and making a smart play, because that's.
Yeah, but again, the Peak Biolabs, they killed off all 3 penalties. As a matter of fact, the first goal of the game didn't come until there was 2.5 minutes left in the first period. Minnesota boy, Bill Bredesen gets an assist from Mike Friesen to score the goal.
Man, we're gonna get more about Mike. The whole game, that line was really phenomenal. Jason, Bill, Mike, offensively were dominant in this game. And
they have, and
it wasn't anything too complex. Mike used a lot of his speed, but it was a lot of just nice tic-tac-toe, quick passes. And again, go back to their bread and butter from previous games. Get to the slot, have bodies there, look for loose pucks, look for rebounds.
Yeah.
And that's what happened on the first goal, was a rebound.
Yeah. And it was a rebound, but I mean, these 3 guys, they've played together off and on all season, and I don't know why they didn't keep them together the whole season, outside of the fact that Bill didn't make every game, Jason didn't make every game, but they just naturally clicked all season, and then really you got to see that in this game. Yeah,
and I think first season in the SHL for Mike Friesen, coming and playing from Dubai, man, what a rookie campaign, so to speak.
Oh, yeah, that's an understatement. So.
It was exciting to watch, and I believe we have to check the final stats, but I think he's the goal leader for the league, especially if you include the playoff goals.
If you include the playoff, I believe he is.
At the very least, he'd be tied with Corey. Later, I mean,
well, he was tied with Corey at the end of the regular season for goals.
Yep.
For goals, but I think Brad was leading the playoffs with points, but I think Friesen surpassed him after this game.
Well, the final tally, I think Mike had 9 points in 3 games played. So
yeah,
and then Brad, including this game, I think had the 6 points.
Yes.
So Brad would have had 5 coming in, and Mike would have had 4 coming in. So there you go. Wow, what it was a really exciting game. So let's get back to on track really quick. So Novotel scores near the end of the first period, gives themselves some momentum, but as we've alluded to, Peak really bounces back and plays a solid game.
Yeah, they kept fighting. They scored. Within 3 minutes in the second period, when Hideki Nagayama scored a great goal off of when he picked up the puck from Eddie, so Eddie McConnell.
Eddie had a solid game, and I think Hideki, for my stars of who played well for Peak along with Gabor, I think Hideki had a really solid game. He had pace the entire evening, really good speed, was looking to set people up, obviously scored here.
Played very aggressively for a defenseman again, which is what he's done all year, and he seemed to pick it up for this game.
You talked about in our pregame that you thought that Brad would be able to do a good job of handling Patrick Forstner.
Yes.
And I think overall Hideki played better. Obviously they didn't get enough points to win the game. They were kind of playing behind or at par with most of the game, but I think Hideki had a really solid game.
Yeah, Hideki did have a solid game. I actually said that I felt if I was Brad, I would, anytime Patrick stepped on the ice, I'd step on the ice. Because that way Brad can cancel out Patrick. So, and then we found out that right before game time that Michael White wasn't going to make
It
it.
was at a wedding. Tough loss.
Tough loss, but to be fair, the Spitfires were missing 3 skaters as well. Ernesto Bauer, Ifetanapakul, and Mike Walker. But they've been missing them for the whole playoffs. So I don't think that made that big of a difference, missing those 3 skaters.
And getting that tying goal for Peak really helped get them back into the game. Both sides had some phenomenal offensive chances, and both goaltenders came up with highlight reel saves.
Yeah, definitely they did.
Flash in the glove. At about 7 minutes of the second period, Leo had a phenomenal stop. Eddie McConnell was camped in the slot. It was a great feed by Hideki, and I mean, he just got robbed. I watched it a few times when I went back in the game for my notes for our recap here, and I was just like, I have to watch this several times. This was a Sports Center type save.
Leo is really proved that he was a great addition to the SHL this year. I mean, I would say he topped the stats for the regular season. He topped the stats in the playoffs as a goaltender. You know, the beginning of the season he wasn't tested that much because he got strong defense for the Spitfires, but then when the game was on the line, he came up with some big saves. Yeah,
I think they both relied on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Give a lot of credit to Novatel's team defense in this game. Peak had their speed.
Yeah, definitely. They
Novotel did an excellent job of just containing it to the outside, to the boards. At the time that they scored their goal, about halfway, or you were saying about a minute and 2 minutes into the second period, they had held Peak, Novotel, to 6 shots on goal to the entire game.
I know, right?
It was phenomenal ability to just limit the opportunities.
And without being the physical team they had been in the first 2 games.
But they did kind of get into that more and more as Peak responded.
Mm-hmm.
Gabor, not to be outdone, had a solid game as we talked about, and he also had a Patrick Waugh-esque save, flash in the glove at about 2:15 of the second. So it was really exciting, back and forth, and just like the first period, at the very end of the period, Novatel's able to squeak through with some goals.
2 goals, less than 2 minutes left in the second period. We had Mike Friesen scoring a goal off the assist from Brad.
That was a nice set play. I believe Jordan on the call during the game announcements was saying it was a good crossing play. Bill Bredesen and Mike both entering in, and this got Gabor moving side to side a little bit. It got the Peak defense kind of turning their heads, who do we cover? And it gave just enough time and space for Mike, pick his spot, high glove shot.
Yeah, it was a pretty shot. And then for the second one, we had Bill Bredesen getting his second of the night, again, assisted by Friesen and Bitter.
That was good. It was just a nice, simple face-off win by Mike, and every single play on that line we've talked about earlier touched the puck at least once. It was just kind of a bit tip-tac-toe. Jason from the right circle, near circle, feeds it out front where Bill's camped out, and he's just got a little bit more length than John Shifnowski, who was trying to guard him there, and just able to poke it into the far side of the net. 3-1, right, just like that.
Yeah, boom, boom. And I thought, oh, Peak's going to be done now.
It's a tough pill to swallow. You're going in the SHL Final, into the final period after playing so well to that point, and now you're down by 2 goals. Harrison, though, man, what a pep talk. He rallies the troops. He says, guys.
You were closer than I was.
Yeah,
so
I had a beautiful vantage point sitting right underneath the press box with my on-ice shots during the game, and I was really just next to Peak for about half the game. And I got to hear Harrison. He's like, guys, we got 1 period. This is for the final, right? The game's not over. Let's play hard. Let's get this back. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, definitely. Minute and a half into the third period. Yeen.
What a shot. I mean, over how many times are we going to say this?
I know, right?
The guy, he has a phenomenal shot. Peak really starts with a fire under their butt. You know, they got to play hard. And had some sustained offensive pressure. Yeen is up at the blue line. He's able to keep the puck in, but actually just barely. If you look at the replay, he's got the stick on the blue paint.
Yeah.
And he's able to keep it in.
He's a big guy. He's got a one hell of a reach.
And he skates all the way over to the near side, and just a nice, hard, low shot. Kind of surprised, I think, Leo a little bit. And
I think so.
Squeezed just between
whenever he lets the shot go, and he is like, this is going to be a shot, very few goaltenders can stop it. It's that fast and that hard. So
it was just like exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, every time, if there's a few players, but every time they have the puck, you need to be ready. And Yeen is one of those guys.
Yeen is absolutely one of those guys. And then they scored another at the 12-minute mark. Poon getting the third goal to tie things up.
A little bit of a lucky bounce, just able to keep his momentum going, keep his pace. He had a good rush on the play and just skated up. And another, I think it was the exact same spot really, from the near side circle, low hard shot between the pad and the glove. And, worked once, worked twice. And now all of a sudden,
we've got a 3-all game. Yeah, and it's like, and then we've got Harrison who goes out with a slashing call.
That hurt him a little bit, that penalty there. You had just tied the game. The very following shift, Harrison, captain, wins the face-off. They're coming in hard, and I can see his mindset on the play. When he starts his wind-up, the puck is loose, but it was a penalty.
Yeah, he started his wind-up. My argument, I'm a hockey player. You've always got to be in control of your stick. You see he's going for the puck. If he's closer than you, you don't follow through. Harrison followed through.
I mean, any
Actually, I think he knocked Leo's stick right out from underneath him.
I'm not sure about that, but Brad was right there.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
He didn't do anything, just besides defending his goal mouth and defending his goaltender. So, but that kind of shot themselves in the foot, lost their momentum. But like it happened the whole game, the PKs played really well.
They did.
Gabor played really, really well. Gives themselves some momentum to come back. But the white wall, Leo, and that Novotel team defense, same thing the whole game. Keep the puck to the outside, try and limit second chance opportunities, and just play tough, wait for our opportunity.
And then we had Winnie Lukton-Tinnakorn to get the go-ahead goal.
From who else?
Mike Friesen.
What a game.
Man, he was a part of every single goal.
So it was insane. Just another, I think it was, I have to check my notes, but I think it was Brad Wilson on a takeaway in the defensive zone, gets the puck to Mike. Mike comes storming up the near side boards. Again, I have a really nice vantage point because I'm sitting at the Peak bench. And the Peak defense actually did a good job, in my opinion, is they collapsed on him on the outside boards, but it was a little cheeky. He had a backhand saucer pass over John Zhignovsky's stick, and Winnie's waiting there in the slot. And because they had collapsed onto Mike, he's now free to get.
But you've got to. You had to. I mean, so, Winnie is not somebody that you can take lightly. But Mike, so many goals, so many assists this season. You've got to keep an eye on him.
I think it was overall the right play. Obviously, you want to protect the slot, but I think it was just perfect tape, and that was the game-winning goal right there.
And then there was like 2 minutes left, and
pull the
goal. You got to pull the goaltender.
What do you do? It's the final.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And 30 seconds left in the game. Who gets a empty netter
from his own zone? I think it was a bit of a lucky bounce. I think one of the peak defenders said it bounced off them.
Yeah.
So, but 5th point of the game, 2nd goal of the night, and 5 points, a hand in every goal. Hard not to give him the MVP trophy.
MVP for the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he absolutely earned it, and I had a chance to talk to him after the game. I'm here with the playoff MVP, Mike. Congratulations.
Thanks, bud.
Wow, 2 goals and a few assists.
Yeah, I think I was in on every goal, so that's an all right night.
And how does it feel to win your first championship in your first season?
Good. I expect nothing less, so.
And what's the SHL like compared to other leagues that you've played in?
Well, for the the number of players that we have here in Bangkok, the level of play is very high. It's perfect for an old guy like me. So my goalie just said to me, "I hope I can play as good as you," and I'm your age. I don't know if that was a compliment or not.
Well, congratulations again. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
So we've had a great season, great playoffs. This is Brad Wilson's 4th season, 4 years captain of the Spitfires, now the Novotel Spitfires.
It's a fitting send-off.
I think so. Yeah, he's going off to Hong Kong. And I did get a chance to talk to him again after the game, and him and Jason Bitter. So they were a lot of fun to talk to. I'm here with two players from the SHL 2019-2020 champions from the Novotel Spitfires, Brad Wilson and Jason Bitter. Wow, what a game.
Go ahead, Bitter.
Hey, this is our fourth season. Brad and I started out with the Spitfires in the first season of the SHL. We're the only two left.
That's present tonight, Ernesto.
Yeah, that's
thanks.
present tonight, and it's really great that we won. We worked really hard. We had two less players than they had tonight. We played as a team. We passed the puck. We played disciplined hockey. Our goalie's great. It's a team sport, man. You play as a team, you win.
You had 2 points, right?
Yeah.
He did. He had 2 assists tonight.
2 penalties, too.
Finally, you got the cup.
Yeah, the last one. Saved the best for last, so I'll miss the SHL. I'll miss Bangkok, but come back. Hopefully Spitfires defend the trophy, whoever's captain for them next year.
Okay. And you're going to be back next year?
We'll see what happens next year. Who knows? Coronavirus may never get to leave here.
All right, congratulations, gentlemen.
Thanks, Dom.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks,
for all
Dom.
season, Dom.
Thanks. Great season for you, too.
Thank you. So now we've got 8 months to wait for the next season. It's crazy. What are your thoughts on the whole season this year? Because, I mean, you were in a completely different position this year than you were last year.
Sure.
You were up helping out Keith and ThailandTV.tv with the broadcast. So
Yeah, as a quick just thank you to Keith, to Rob, Keith's friend who filmed most of the games, to Chris, who filmed most of the games, and everybody else who contributed. It made it really special.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to be able to broadcast, to share the league, get more popularity, get people watching. So please keep that up, everybody. Thank you for participating.
I believe the plan is we'll have it again next year.
So that was a lot of fun. But it gives you another perspective to be able to see on top of the play. It's fun to be at ice level and to see the action. But as a scorekeeper, you're kind of focused on one thing and you can't watch the game as closely. So that was a lot of fun. Plus now, credit to Keith, having the video to be able to go back to rewatch the plays, take some notes really quick. That was really nice. I think, as we talked about in our SHL semifinal rounds, the parody was so much fun to watch this season.
Yeah.
I feel like
it was
last
the best
season-
that I've seen it in all 4 seasons.
And last season was my first season. And, True took them a whole season to kind of find their legs in last season's example, and Aware just from the whole season was just so
Set a
dominant.
record.
Yeah.
11 games in a row.
So, but this season, every team had their moment in the sun, literally.
Well,
Aware.
Aware.
Aware
their
was
moment
finding
in,
themselves.
their moment in the sun was Corey getting the points trophy, and
Little sunburn.
little sunburn, and the most penalties. Well, sorry, not the most. The second most amount of penalties. So
Sorry, Aware. But offensively, you guys had a great season. Corey had a great season, and I think they were one lucky bounce away from being in the final.
yeah, they
So
absolutely
give them a ton of credit. But as I was alluding to, the parity that we had, all 4 teams really playing well, having like we talked about, a nice mix. Solid goaltending literally on all 4 teams. I think everybody played really well. Dream had a little bit of a down season, but even he had his moments. Lance, excellent work. And also, by the way, excellent commentary. I think Lance, no, seriously, Lance
He is
and
great.
Jordan, they did a phenomenal job. I really enjoyed their chemistry listening to their commentary in the game. But anyway, also, we loved watching you play goaltender, Lance. Gabor, obviously, strong. People all season harping on him, right? Trying to dig, but he stood tall.
He did.
You know what? And he stayed true to himself. He played with passion, played with fire, played well. And I think he deserves a ton of credit.
He did. Yep. That absolutely does deserve a ton
And
of credit.
Leo. I mean, statistically, just like Corey, when you're the top, statistically, you deserve to be credited. So, Leo, phenomenal work. I think if it wasn't for Mike's phenomenal game, he would have won the star.
Yeah, I absolutely. Although Leo said to me after the game, he's like, "See, it's my team. It's my team. I don't deserve it. It's my team." And I was like, Leo, you had a great game." And he's like, "Oh, that's my job." Well, it's everybody's job.
Yeah.
So.
And also credit that team defense, Novotel, and the right game plan. Keep the puck to the outside, play physical. Peaks tie defense. We talked about Yin, Nagayama. Man, this was a fun season.
It was absolutely I mean, this is the first year I've missed one game, but I watched every game right down there on the ice. So much fun to watch. It was more exciting this year than. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun watching Aware last year, the Big Red Juggernaut winning 11 straight games. But then, with as you said, the parity this season was so much better, and much more exciting. I felt. Yeah.
Let's keep it up.
Absolutely. That's all for this week and this year. We'll see you next year at the rink.
The opposite was very strong. I was good.
The Sport Corner's Siam Hockey League news is brought to you by Big Chili Magazine, the best read expat lifestyle and news magazine in Thailand. It covers interesting issues in Bangkok and the region while bringing its readers engaging stories and various exclusive interviews, food reviews, and more. You can find the Big Chili Magazine in bookstores and online at thebigchili.com. The music for the opening and ending credits are brought to you by DJ Caucasian.